Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm going to wait for a few more folks to join in. This is a 9 p.m. Eastern if you're watching it live. Normally I was doing 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. I decided after moving some stuff around my schedule, I'm going to be consistent. So now on Thursdays and Saturdays, I stream from 9 p.m. Till 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Hello, welcome to Hollow. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote there in chat. If you're a subscriber, throw it in there. If your subscription has lapsed, now is a great time to renew. $5 or free if you have Twitch Prime. If you have Twitch Prime, Amazon Prime linked together, you do that. Thanks for everybody who joined me. I know that change is hard. But this is going to be more consistent, and it'll be better for everybody, myself included. So that's what we're doing. You can see our model kit here. I was missing a piece. Will Smith is hosting the stream. Thank you very much, Will. I was missing a piece here for the waist of this kit, which I found underneath the table. So I finished assembling it. Kind of a warm-up. As you know, I like to do warm-ups. So I did a little bit of construction on this kit. It's cool. Lastbrook, hello. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we're going to get into it in a moment. I do like to, let people filter in for the day. As you can tell, so this is the full mechanics, which is just a line for the Iron Blood Orphans series of Gundam. It is a 1/100 scale like you would find in a master grade, but this is more like a high grade kit. But one of the things like the real grades that it has is that it's the full skeletal. So we built the whole skeleton, and now we're slowly going to build the armor around it, which is kind of cool. So instead of like building the legs and then building the armor around the legs, we built all the legs, all the arms, the chest, the waist, the whole thing, and then we're going to add on to it, which I think is a pretty cool, pretty unique method. It means extra parts here and there, but it was kind of cool to look at a skeleton. And let's go to the wide shot here. I hope everyone's doing well. Go to the wide shot. Here we go. So this is different. I took a photo on my Twitter account of my new setup because I'm dual monitoring right now. And I've got a stand that lets me connect the two monitors together. So this is the first time that I've done a build stream with that. Now what that means is that my camera that I'm pointing at right there, there's me, is now on a monitor. So it's not as stable as it was before. I'm going to be tooling around with it. I'm going to be kind of trying to lock that in for Saturday. But for today, we're going to go with that right now. I might eventually have to do some sort of crane arm with it that go above it. We're going to figure that out. But right now, our main camera is on a monitor, and then the camera that faces me is on a mini tripod, as always. Hello, board. Welcome. So yeah, so one of the kind of cool things about this kit, we'll take a look at it in the main shot here, is that we're actually going to take a piece off. So for the skeleton, we had a piece of the head attached. We're actually going to remove that because that's just it for the skeleton. That's not for the actual kit, which is weird to think about. This piece is like part of another piece we're going to put on. So we don't need this. We're going to put this in our box. In case you want to like take the head armor off, you can put that back on, I guess. It's kind of cool, kind of weird. So we got a tiny piece here of the face. This is probably the smallest piece in this kit. I'm going to point that up to that camera there. Probably the smallest piece in our kit. It's just the mouth. And we're going to attach that to the kit here. But this might be the smallest piece we have to attach. And we're going to attach that to the head. I'm going to take my time with it because it is, like I said, a small piece. If you're building anything, working on any model kits, doing anything, as always, please send me tweets of that. Take a photo. Let me know what's going on. DMill2010 is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, follow so that you turn on your notifications and you know when I'm streaming. Like I said, I do Thursday and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. is when I'm regularly streaming now. But I do, a monthly extra bonus stream, and I'll do a few other things here and there. Okay, so we did that. It's kind of weird to build the head while the head is connected. Normally, you do all of the head pieces and then you would attach it to um, the you would then after that attach the head to the neck. So it is kind of weird to be doing this while it's still connected. All right. So let's see here. So we're going to connect this to... I'm actually going to remove the head. I'm just going to go ahead and take the head off because it's going to be a lot easier for me to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with these pieces with the head detached. I think that'll be a lot easier for me if that's the case. This is the first time working on a full mechanics. I'm definitely going to pick another kit, something else from this kit, I should say. I was trying to think about how I want to say it. I'm definitely going to want to build another one of these because this is pretty cool. And so far, this is the only line for the Gundam, the only series that has a full mechanics model. I'm sure they'll do it for other things, but right now that's it. Okay. I have no anime to talk about today. That I know that is a strange thing to say. I was busy and have not watched any anime since this past Saturday. I mean, I'm not really watching that much. You know, like comic girls is still good. You know, Yi is still good. I'm not watching, much these days. There's not a lot. This season is kind of disappointing for me overall. I know other people are having fun because they're watching, a bunch of stuff. I'm not watching My Hero Academia. I'm waiting for a lot of it to come out because I like to binge watch that show because I didn't watch the first season when it came out. I didn't watch the first season until the second season was starting, and then binge watched it. So for me anyway, it's kind of more fun to watch that show in a burst. So I'm kind of waiting for a bunch of episodes to come out, and then I will devour it. Heresy, your license to Kaguya may be broke. I know the Hollow. It's weird. I'll have some time tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't have anything going on. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, tomorrow I will have more time. So for Saturday, well, the camera that I look at when I talk to y'all is normally here, and I moved it to here, and I like it that it's here. But it does mean that I am looking at the wrong place often, so I got to get used to that. But now when I look at the chat, I'm technically looking at the camera. Comic Girls and Golden coming to you this season. Yeah, you're not watching anything this season. Kind of want to try a Jet Dragon thing on Netflix. Yeah, Dorf. I don't have Netflix right now. I should get it again. I just don't have it right now. I let my subscription lapse. But I've heard good things about that. There are a few things I've heard that I'm not watching that people are liking. But yeah, there was just nothing was really speaking to me. Here's another tiny piece. So I haven't watched. I'm just behind on things. So Comic Girls, I'm behind on, but I'll be ready for Saturday to talk about it. And I might give Persona a second shot. Persona 5. I didn't really like the game particularly, so I wasn't like gung ho about the anime, but the quality looks pretty good. It feels fast, right? Doesn't it feel like it came out really soon after the game? Like, I know that Persona 4, the animation, was very popular. And Persona, so maybe they were like, oh, there's a new Persona, let's definitely license this and get it made. It just felt pretty fast to me. I don't know for sure, though. All right. So we are working on the head right now. I decided to just take the head off as I worked on it. Okay, and then working on the face here. All the armor for the face. And then Where's this? Whoop, what's going on here? NHL fan 44 is now following. Thank you very much, NHL fan. Appreciate the follow. Yeah, if you're just following me on Twitter and you don't know when I stream, following me here on Twitch is helpful. So that way you get an idea. Yeah, I mean, like there were parts of Persona 5 that I enjoyed. I might, and also a lot of times you're going to have a little bit more character work here and there that can kind of pick and choose things in an anime. So I might be more into that, but I don't know for sure. All right, so we're going to put one more piece on the head, and then we're going to return the head to the body. Nice and safely connect these pieces. Okay, here we go. So we took off the crown, the kind of black metal crown to put on our golden crown, our flare, and this looks cool. I think this looks very cool. Put a close up there, and then put it right there. I think it looks super cool. All right. Light got weird when I put my hand up there. I'm still getting used to it. Like I said, I'm now dual monitoring here in my setup, which I wasn't doing previously. And so now I'm readjusting the lighting and trying to get that ready. And I never really got the lighting quite right before this, so it's kind of interesting. Persona 5, waiting for the anime to pick up the game again. Hello, Mr. Bob. Welcome. It's been a while since we saw you here live. Mr. Bob, welcome to the chat. Thanks, everybody that's joined me. I will say, this is going to be a normal stream. It's just that now it's 9 to 10:30 instead of 8 to 9:30 like I used to do. But everything else about the stream is the same. Obviously, my setup is a little different now that I'm... I think I might have to set this camera properties. I'm going to try to configure... all right. So this might get weird, but I've turned autofocus off on this webcam because it does shake a little bit because it is just right now kind of loosely attached to a monitor. So I think if I do that, it will be better. Complete. I mean, look, here's the thing. I just didn't root for any of the characters in 5. I just didn't get attached to any of the characters. Whereas in 4, even the ones that were frustrating, I still wanted good things for them. Even the actress dealing with her father, who was just a lot, I wanted good things for her. I wanted good things for all the minor characters. I wanted the music girl to have confidence in herself. And I wanted, like... the basketball player to make amends with his adopted family, and I wanted the soccer guy to figure that stuff out, and the rich girl that was so insecure about the weight that she had lost. I wanted her to do well. I wanted good things for all of the characters in Persona 4. All minor, major characters. I wanted good things for them. So to go to 5 where I was just like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. To the point that when I replay or watch Persona 4, the anime again, I'm always so tentative about certain parts because I know plot-wise what's going to happen, but I'm still oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. Bad things are going to happen to characters that I like, I care a lot about Persona 4, so it's really hard to then jump to Persona 5, where I'm meh, I don't care. Whatever. Do whatevs. But that could change. Like I said, that could change. I could have a change of heart about that anytime. And maybe the anime I'll like more. I'll say this. If you didn't watch the Persona 4 anime, if you played the game and you didn't watch the anime, it's not an essential viewing. But there are some things about it that are very good that I really like, including a 2-part that that kind of follows like a bunch of the minor character things, like a lot of your extra credit stuff, like the kid that is, you know, smart but like doesn't have any friends, and like the little boy who's dealing with his stepmom and a bunch of that stuff. It like ties a bunch of those things in, um, and it is pretty cool. It's a pretty fun episode of just like investigating why the main character is like doing all this stuff and doing all the, like what's going on. Because I think that's the thing about Persona 4 that's fun is like you go to school and then after school you raid a dungeon and you try to save the day, and then also you're like helping all these random people in the town, including a mysterious fox. You often have to help out a fox. I think it's just like a funny, weird part of that whole thing. Oh. Funky Student does not make an appearance in the Persona 4 anime or in Golden, and that's the biggest knock on that show I can say. Is that you don't get the coolest thing. It's like a new game plus, yes. So like, especially bored, especially with Golden, because it is this like weird retelling where it like skips a bunch of stuff, and basically the Golden anime is just the cutscenes from for Golden. Basically, they just like jump around and do all that. But it is like you're playing a new game where like the main characters is like, oh, don't worry about it. I know what I got to do here. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna be just fine. Really does know what's going on, which I appreciate. All right. And it gave me more Chie in my life, and I can always I'm always looking for more Chie, since Chie is the best. All right, what's going on here? I'm actually gonna build with Baer tonight. You're making a piano out of cardboard. Oh, that's awesome, Lashbrook. I reached out to a couple people about like Labo stuff because I don't have I don't have a Switch. My roommate does. So I've played a bunch of games, but my roommate, as far as I know, is not interested in Labo, so we don't have it. But I have I reached out a few places like, hey, if you ever wanted to build with Baer, do some Labo. I don't think that's going to happen, but would have been cool. I'm going to cough. Let me hit the old mute button here. There we go. I'm back. Mr. Bob, your crew has abandoned you, and you're in a hotel lobby. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here with us live. I'm sorry that you got abandoned by your crew. That certainly has happened to me before. You're not the first there. Okay. So, G1, G2. G. I don't think we've done anything from G. No, G is a sheet that we have not touched yet. So this is new for us. G1, G2. What got going on here? Waffle Soup is now following. Thank you for following, Waffle Soup. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, so this main camera does get wobbly when I touch the table. That is annoying, and I'm going to have to sort that out. I might have to look into like a crane arm or something for this camera so that it can be above and have a more solid base. So that is annoying, and I apologize for that. Obviously, my tests did not include that because I was just seeing how it looked, not how it and not taking that in consideration, that it would move around a bunch if I touched the table. Here, the Baer crew. Yes, you're part of the Baer Cave. In the Baer Cave. Yeah, we're building this thing. This is coming together pretty cool looking. Pretty into it. Okay, so we want to put this up like this. This goes like this. And then that attaches. Doesn't really do a good job of showing me where this is supposed to attach. which is annoying. Because I'm not really sure where this goes. Oh, it goes like this, maybe. Huh, okay. I'm going to do the old, let's look at this photo. Okay, just kind of attaches to that part. Yeah, this does a not great job of showing me where this armor piece goes here, or how it connects. It'll be a lot easier when I do. Okay. All right, so it's mostly the arm there. It looks like. Oh, I figured it out. It goes in the back here. Okay, great. So it kind of goes on this piece here. You can see it on the main feed there. Whoops. It just kind of attaches. But it didn't really do a great job of telling me where it attached. There it is. Great. Did that. This looks so weird with it just like one arm. Like it looks like he only, like this robot was just like, I've only been focusing on my right arm. No, I haven't been doing any left arm stuff. And now we'll do what we did there on the other side. Nice and easy, quick, no fuss, no muss. We'll just get it done again. We use the tiny gunpla hands to shake. So we don't, the Baer crew, as far as I know, doesn't have a handshake per se. We don't. Yeah, we do. We do have like common knowledge among all of us. There's a head nod. You know what you know. You know what's up. You know the drill. And no matter where you are, you just say, "Oh, I'm here in the Baer cave," because you're always in the Baer cave when you're part of the Baer crew. Little known fact about the Baer crew is that if you're part of it, you're always in the Baer cave. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, and you always want a gun. Well, so you always want a gunpla that you have on hand, and then you also always want to have a gunpla that you're working on because it's fun to work on gunpla or Lego. So it's just it's fun. I got a cough again. I'm so sorry. I've had this cough, I think, for like 3 weeks now, and it's awful, and I hate it, and it sucks, and it's not great for this at all. It's bad for this. It's very bad for this stuff. Yeah, I would love to not have this cough anymore. It would be great if it went away. Alright, just trying to put on this piece here. Can't remember how that goes on. Whoops, nope. Alright, so that goes on like that. And this goes... Okay. Goes like that. Nope, that's on wrong. Oh, weird. Okay. Oh, there we go. Figured it out. Nope, did figure it out. Figuring it out. Not sure why this is I'm having trouble connecting this piece, but I'm working on it. We'll get it going. We'll get it together. I showed my gunpla pictures to my new coworkers. It went over well. That's awesome. Your phone knows what Google is now, what Gundam is now. Mr. Bob, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's always the kind of fear when you're like talking about your hobbies or the things you work on in your free time when you share that with coworkers. I mean, my life is an open book at this point, but in the early days of working, like my teen years working IT and stuff, and it was kind of hard to be like, oh, this is what I do in my spare time. And even with like when I was getting into improv and doing comedy, it was much more acceptable that I played poker that I you know played MMOs, like, and then eventually World of Warcraft got so big that a bunch of my friends who didn't really play that many games were suddenly playing it, and World of Warcraft was so huge that it totally made that acceptable. People that hadn't played video games in 10, 15 years were playing because it was so good and hit all the nostalgia parts for them. It was a real like. I don't play video games. I play World of Warcraft. It was that kind of one of those games. The same way that for a lot of people, Minecraft is that thing, or like a lot of mobile games for people. Like people play Candy Crush. They don't play video games. That kind of thing. Hey Waffles, can't hang too much, but wanted to stop by and say hi. Hello, Waffles. Welcome. It's great to have you here. So the Hollow, I don't know if it's Gundam so much as it's like model kit building, right? Like that's just not a thing that to us. Oh, thank you so much. That's like we are being hosted by Tanya, the wonderful Tanya. So nice of her for that. Hello. Thank you very much for giving us this. That's very nice of the hosting. Appreciate it. All right, this piece took a little while to get on. I don't know why. It was being very annoying, but we got that done. I'm going to move this center it a bit more for folks. Working on our hands here. We already did all these pieces on the other side, so it should go on pretty fast here once we get that going. I have been asked if I like D&D models. I do. I don't have any because I'm not a painter, right? So that's the main thing that keeps me from collecting a lot of things that like you would want to purchase and paint, is that I don't paint anything because I just don't have the patience for painting or the talent really. But I do like models. I have in the past had some back in the day when I ran with a crew that played D&D constantly. We eventually had, our dungeon master would get kits and stuff for non-player characters, big ones, because it was more fun to have them around. I have some I was given, but they seem to be a bit complicated for me. Ha! Yeah, I just never really got into model painting, as folks that watch my streams know. I will do a lot of building, but Lego. I've been doing Lego decals, and I've been happy with Lego decals. I've been applying Lego decals here and there because they're easy to fix your mistakes in. But when it comes to model kits, I'm almost never putting stickers on anything, and I leave that for other people that are far more talented at that than I am. It's just not a skill that I possess. I wish it was. I wish that I liked painting miniatures or busts or anything like that, because I know that for a lot of people, the time in that is very therapeutic. That painting is like a nice distraction from the regular world. It's a nice thing to focus on. And then, much like model kits, the thing that I always say that people are like, oh, yeah, it seems kind of fun, and I guess if you liked the show, it'd be cool to have a kit for it. And I'm like, yeah, that stuff is great. Don't get me wrong, that stuff is really great. But I think a thing that people don't think about is, when I'm done with this, it feels like not just feels, it is true that I accomplished something. When I'm done with this kit, and I look at it and I take a photo of it and I put it on Twitter, even the photos I'm taking while I'm doing it, feels like an accomplishment that I did something. And I'm very proud of that. And I think that goes overlooked a lot when people talk about kit building and Lego building. So complete Gundam models. So I think they do, back in the, especially the Gundam Wing days, they were selling They were selling more like action figures that were like big kits. You could buy those. Some of them had like lights. I don't know if they regularly do that now. That's not a thing that I've paid attention to. I could look into it. But the same way that you can buy like busts of Goku if that's your thing, or action figures of Goku. You know, you can certainly buy a Gundam here and there. Uh, so yes, you say that you like paying busts and other things like that. You're just terrible at putting models together. Yeah, see, I'm the other way. Like I stumble. We all know. We all know that it is a stream right now. We've only half an hour in, and I have not dropped anything on the floor yet, never to be seen again. But all right. So I'm gonna put a piece on there, and then put a piece on there. Tightly fit the part as far as they will go. All right. So now we're going to work on our pauldrons, our shoulder pieces here. So that's on E. That's E. Yeah, I don't know. I mean the snap model kits I got really into because they seemed approachable. You know, the old paint kits, the cement kits I should say, you know, of my youth never felt like a thing that I was always scared to try. Yeah, I just never thought I could pull it off, so I never did. But I'm glad I bought my first kit. I bought a high grade kit of a death scythe. Messed up the head real bad. This was in the mid '90s. Really messed it up. And I was so happy that I like got the practice of doing it and got back, you know, kept at it. Really, you know, tried my best, and then eventually like felt pretty confident in model kit construction. To kind of, you know, where I am now, where I still mess up, but now I'm not afraid of it, right? Like those that watched the perfect grade kit I built, where I messed up part of the waist, part of the skirt, and you know it's not the best. One day I do want to take that apart. Maybe when I have like, if I know I'm going to finish up a kit and I don't want to start a new one right away or something, I want to take a break or something like that, or maybe as one of my YouTube specials, I do want to take that apart. And I do, you know what, that might actually make a good YouTube special when I go to SDCC and I'm going to be away. It might be fun to take apart that kit and kind of fix it better, because right now it's with a toothpick and kind of noticeable. But I think I'd be better at repairing that if it was like part of a live stream, not a live stream, but like a video. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's something that I've been thinking about if I had, you know, the time to do it, and I, you know, probably do have some time. That might be cool to do. All right. So we're gonna put these here. So we're doing both pauldrons at once because they are identical. And as always, we're going to do the first one, and then the second one is going to make more sense because we'll have done it. All right, so that goes in, and they say really shove it in there as far as it'll go. And then, again, really shove it in there as far as it'll go. Okay. All right, that was easy enough. And then we'll just do the same thing on the other side. As always, when you're doing matching parts, it's pretty easy to get it right. And go like that. Oof. All right, I'm going to take a second here and pat down my face a bit. It is very hot. It is in the 90s here in New York City. We did not have spring. We had 2 days ago. It was like 60-something degrees, and then it was like 70-something yesterday, and it's 90-something. Now it's 80 probably. But yeah, we're on full-on fucking summer right now. And so it is pretty warm here in the old bedroom, here in the bear cave. It's pretty warm. All right, so now we're putting our shoulder pieces on here. We're not going to try to force anything on. We'll take our time with it. Put these on as lightly as we can. Here. Great. Those slipped on pretty easy. All right, now we're going to build our armor for our legs. We've done the arms. Now it's time to get our legs going. It's like that in Ontario too. Oh, the Hollow. I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that it got warm a bunch of places. I'm not surprised, but yeah, it. I think I predicted myself, looking at the weather and the forecast and all that, that we weren't going to get a spring this year. It was going to be a long, stupid winter, and then all of a sudden it was going to be summer. And I really feel like it is. I feel like we're already in a heat wave, which is, less than ideal. I like a good spring. It's nice to not need a big jacket. It's pretty great when you don't need a jacket, and you can just, wear a hoodie and walk out, and then take the hoodie off when it gets a little warm for a couple hours. I prefer that rather than breaking out the old shorts and sweating in place. That's not great. Also, as many people know, part of the reason why my cough has been bad, why I've had to take breaks to kind of have coughing fits, is because all of the pollen fell out of the trees, at least locally, and it has been very bad on my allergies. I'm hoping this cough goes away. I'm hoping once all the pollen kind of falls. It's raining a little bit here in New York, and that should help things a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to get this cough out of here. That would be nice. I don't mind it when out and doing stuff, but sleeping in the heat is awful. Sleeping in the heat can be bad. A trick that I figured out in my particular bedroom is when it gets really, really bad, I flop spots on where I sleep so that I'm by a window, and I have a nice big, giant, stupid fan that usually cools the room, but then in the hottest nights just ends up cooling my head. And that has worked out pretty great. Also, as you all know, I shaved my head, and then in the summertime, I'm buzzing that almost every week and keeping it as shorn as possible. And that helps out a lot for me anyway. All right. Oh, I didn't want to ask Tanya, how are you? I know that you had some travel nightmares, and lost like pretty much a day, right? I hope you're settled back home and can kind of like relax a bit now, because I know that travel was not good for you. G4. So I hope it's better. Yeah. No, that was you had like an overnight stay, which is never good when you're not supposed to stay someplace overnight. It's very bad. Got home at 2:30 today. Okay, yeah. So you lost like a whole day, right? Ugh. I've been there and it's awful. It's just like nobody likes feeling helpless like that, like stuck. Ugh. Yeah. I'm getting flashbacks to the first PAX South, where I lost a day. You were supposed to land in Chicago last night at 10 p.m. Oh man, yeah, that's rough. That's so like the uncertainty of that. Yeah, flights had been canceled, and so I managed to get a flight. I was supposed to go from San Antonio to Dallas, Dallas to New York. Well, I got to Dallas, but my Dallas to New York flight was canceled, and I managed to get the last flight in to Washington D.C., where my cousin and his wife and their children live in Arlington, so they were able to basically come and get me at the airport, and I stayed with them. And then the next day, the trains were running, and I was able to take a Metro or Metro North from D.C. to New York, because it was just there's just like You had a good meeting at Patreon and Twitch. Well, that's good. I'm glad your meetings were good. It would be even worse if you had all of these flight troubles and you were like, it was the capper of a not great day or whatever, So at least the meetings were good. That kind of helps some. Right? That's not E. I need F, not E. E and F are the same color, so that is occasionally frustrating. Same color of stuff here. We're just working on the leg armor right now. Just clipping out the pieces we need, and we'll do assembly in a moment. All right, so that's that one. And then 10 goes to this one here. Same thing on the other side. 11 and 10. Yeah, I was so lucky. For me, when I was having my flight problems, coming back from San Antonio, I was like, I have friends in Delaware, I have family in D.C., and I had friends who were stuck in Philadelphia that were at the Royal Rumble. Because it was January. And so I knew I had a couple friends that had hotel rooms there that were stuck. So I knew that I could stay with them because, I had just finished a convention that I paid out of pocket and I did not have any money to stay in like a hotel anywhere. So I managed to get on a flight that landed in D.C. And then stayed with family and then had enough money to take the train back, which is, not super inexpensive, but, it's not, it wasn't super pricey, but it certainly wasn't cheap at the time, or any time really. All right, so this goes like this. I do want to point out. I'll point out on the other side when I connect these two. A thing about this that is pretty cool. Let me get this going here. There. Doing this wrong. Oh, okay. So this one goes down like this. Oh, had the wrong one. One thing that's kind of cool about this is you can see that there is a cut here on one of the two pegs there. You might not be able to see it. That's just kind of a guide so you know which side these are supposed to be on, which is pretty cool. The only other time I would really flight thing was I used to fly to Myrtle Beach. My folks live outside Myrtle Beach now, and that airport is an international airport, but it's very small. And when the fog rolls in, they just shut down. So I was in Charlotte, and then waiting for a connector to Myrtle Beach, and it just didn't happen. And so my folks had to drive like 4 hours to come pick me up because it was Christmas time. And I wasn't going to spend Christmas Eve at an airport sitting there until the next day. And then also, because it was a holiday, the plane they wanted to put me on wasn't the next day. It was 2 days later to fly for what was, in a jumper plane, what was probably like a 45-minute flight. So it was like, no, I guess my folks just have to drive. They drove for 4 hours, picked me up. We ate, and then we drove 4 hours back. And that was like the day before. It was like the day before Christmas Eve. It was bad. It was very bad. It was rough and bad. Okay, so gonna kind of punch these back here. Got pieces that go on our legs. Our right leg here. Very boxy. This is, fans of model kits, of the Gundam model kit, will recognize these legs. These are very proper for one of these kind of kits. It looks, even though this has like a kind of an animalistic vibe to it with the arms and the legs, the claws kind of on it, it still has some basis in your normal kind of kit. All right. Then I want to put E16 on. This piece here. Which is 16. Nope, that's F16. Did it again. Almost clipped up the wrong part. Anyone playing any good video games? Let's see. So I have been very casually playing Far Cry, the new Far Cry. Um, I've done the thing that I normally do, which is stop helping people and just get into mischief on my own, and then accidentally help people. The best part of it is, and like some people have been talking about it, but I think like not enough people is just how great Cheeseburger is. Um, Cheeseburger, the bear, who you can rescue and then give some salmon to, and then will just chill with you and hang out, is the best thing. Um, I'm playing it on PC, and really liking it. And it is going real well. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, my favorite part of the game is how incredible Cheeseburger is, and just how fun it is to like roll in to a camp and just be like, oh, I should be scared of all of you, huh? Well, let me think about that, bear. Y'all just got attacked by a bear who likes me. It's it's just very fun and cool. I mean, the dog is great, right? Don't get me wrong. Uh, Lastbrook, I love mechs, right? Into the Breach, I enjoyed a lot. I didn't really talk about that too much on stream, but I was enjoying it quite a bit. But I think BattleTech is probably a bridge too far. I think it's just probably too much for me. I would love to be able to get into it, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just can't see myself playing it. It looks awesome. I like watching it. I like watching fun people play BattleTech, but I just know myself to know that I'm like would not give it the proper respect. Yeah, let's see. Really? Oh, and of course, y'all know, those of you that watch my streams know that I am big on, consistently big on my weird playthrough of Fallout 4. My one of many playthroughs of Fallout 4. I've been doing the slow party in there. I've done very little of the main quest. I've done plenty of the side quest stuff. I'm just working on building up Sanctuary to be an actual sanctuary, like a cool city. And I basically built that up, and I built the castle up. Really put a lot of resources into those two to make them cool places. Harold is now hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that very much. Hi, it's good to see you, friend. Yeah, I mean, BattleTech just looks like... Look, if I'm going to spend hours and hours trying to figure something out, it's usually like me trying a bunch of different things and like a board game, right? I'm often like trying out a board game with friends, and we're sitting there reading the rules, trying to figure it out. That's kind of how I roll. I don't necessarily sit in a tutorial for hours and hours and hours and be like, okay, now I can restart. Now that I've got an idea, I can restart the game, and then we're good. Like it's just not my thing. No disrespect to folks that's their thing. That if that's how you like to play games, that's awesome. I can't anymore with that stuff. Yes, we should talk about some PAX West panels. Yes, I've been, I'm thinking about the wrestling stuff because Mr. Aaron Trites, my partner in crime, is taking PAX West off. So Eric Pope and I are taking the lead on our wrestling show and booking that. And so I've been thinking about that stuff. But yeah, we should talk. I think I'm going to have... Look, I could have 4 panels at West, and I'm trying not to have 4 panels because that is too many panels um, that I like run or organize. Like that's a lot. So I've been talking about on stream. A few people, have heard me say I might take a show off from. So I need 12 here. I might take a show off of doing 404ing it. 404ing it, as many people know, is what brought me to the dance. There are shenanigans about RE panels. Oh, are there shenanigans? We should talk if there's shenanigans happening. I had not heard that. I just know that I have a lot of the ability to do cool things there, and I really enjoy it. But like 4-4ing is so much work that I might want to take a break from it. But yeah, okay. I had not heard that there were shenanigans about panels. That's good to know. Okay, we should definitely talk then. Feel free to send me a note. I have not heard anything like that. I have not, reached out yet about my stuff. Left PAX East feeling pretty good about the kind of things that we're doing and our ability to continue to do that. But, I'm not always in the know when it comes to that stuff. Because as I always say, I'm not in the games industry. I just get to play in it. So I often don't hear all of the stuff as fast as other people do. All right. Okay, so we've finished our leg here. Looks weird. Okay. Finished our leg here. It doesn't really stand up right now, so I'm going to put it aside. We're going to do the other leg in a moment. I'm going to take a moment here, as it is almost 10 p.m. We're going to go to 10:30 p.m. for Eastern time for folks, but I do want to do a few pieces of odds and ends here. First thing is to mention my Patreon. I'm under $100 right now. I'd like to hit $150 a month would allow me to stream 3 times a week. I can't really do that now financially, but $150 a month, I'd be able to devote the time and effort for that. If you ever thought, hey, I'd love to see one of the kits that you want to build, I'd love to buy that kit for you so that you would build it faster and sooner. Well, the way to do that is through my Amazon wish list. That's a way to support me, is my Amazon wish list. I list all the stuff that I do there. And then also are the things that I would like. There's some tech stuff at the bottom. Mostly it's like Lego kits or like, are expensive. Model kits are expensive. Those are things that I like to build. I'd like to build another one of those Dragon Ball Super kits. Those things are action figure model kits. Those things are really fun. And then I've got my coffee. It's just, direct deposit once in a while. Also, you could become a subscriber here on Twitch. If you've got Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, you link to Twitch Prime, you can use your token. You have to do that, renew it every month. That's an important thing. If you're using your token for me or anyone else, is that when that expires, you have to manually redo it. Don't leave it up to chance. Don't leave it up. Don't forget about it. And then there's no link to your Patreon on your panels. You're right. You're 100% right. My 404ing it and my most recent are all my post-mortem shows don't have links to my Patreon, and they 100% should. Thank you very much, Tanya, for that. That's very important for me to have that information, so I appreciate that. Also, thank you for pledging $5, Tanya. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Tanya is now a Patreon at the $5 level. Well, you're going to get the archive of this before it goes on my YouTube tomorrow. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I have 3 levels, $1. You get a Q&A video I do every month that goes just to my Patreon supporters. No one else sees those. $5 a month, you get all videos that I make a day early, including my mailbag videos and these videos and the comedy videos and panels. And the $10 a month gets to vote on things that I build. I do that every couple months. I put up a poll. Yeah, I now am just about $100. Just 100. Thank you very much for that. That's really awesome. I appreciate that. I would say $1 adds up for a lot of people. If you can only give $1 a month for something like that, or you're like, oh, I'd like to do it on Twitch, but I can't. Like, I get that. I totally understand it. I'm never here telling people they can't. What's the best way to do that? Which is why I have a bunch of options. Oh, Racked just subscribed. Thank you for everything you do. You're the best. Thank you so much for that, Racked. I really appreciate it. 4 months in a row. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate the support and continued support. It does add up. I just got a check from Twitch the other day, and that helped pay for the dual monitor setup that I'm using right now. Folks can check that out on my Twitter. I put a photo up of my new setup with the second monitor. It is really nice to have it. I've been talking about doing something like it for a while, and now I have two 24-inch monitors, and it's looking good. All right, so we're gonna work on the other leg here. Oof. Thank you for everybody for putting up with that. Continued me promoting myself. And as always, I should say this. If all you can do is, if you think about somebody you think would like it, give me a retweet when I tweet out that I'm streaming, or tell a friend, like, hey, you like model kit stuff, you like, a really small, intimate, responsive, polite chat. If you ever want to be part of a community where literally 4 people have ever been banned from chat, who weren't part of the place, who were just weirdos coming through to be dicks, that you might like this one, because I do think that, it is really nice to have all of you here. You are always consistently very pleasant to talk to, and I do, always look forward to streaming, because, obviously, I still love model kit building. When I stop liking this, then Build a Bear Workshop will change and it will morph into something else. But right now, I still really like building, and I really enjoy all of you being awesome and cool. I just noticed that I apparently missed a step here. And I'm going to go back on that. I missed the back part of this leg. I did miss something, so I got to put that in. I'm going to pull out the piece I need for that and do that. I did miss a step. That happens now and again. I'm usually pretty good about catching those things, but I did miss it. There's a lot going on. We're just talking a bunch. So I did miss a step here, and now I'm going to fix that mistake. Sorry I don't catch you live a lot, but watch you VODs, and Prime Sub is always for Pat. Harold, good night. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you for hosting. I appreciate that very much, as always. And yeah, Racked. I know a lot of people. My times that one of the reasons why I moved from 9 to 10:30 on Thursdays, when I was doing 8 p.m. to 10, or 8 p.m. to 9:30. Previously, is to try to reach more people, because I understand that 8 p.m. is 5 p.m. for the West Coast, and weird times. I've got my international friends out there that we always say Johnny Warps only gets to see us when Johnny is dealing with with problems sleeping. So that's always a bummer. And I wish that I had a stream that better helped them out on their schedule. Yeah, so we missed the back part of this. We were supposed to put some armor on the back of this kit here, and we'll do that now. Oops. Won't be too hard to put on. Just pop that in there. I gotta bend the leg there, and then this should pop in. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. Sorry, I got quiet there. That happens on occasion. In the last half hour, I get a little quiet sometimes. I apologize for that. More like Pest Coast, am I right? Occasionally the hollow. You know, I don't mind it. I mean, like, I'm trying, like I said, I think you know, 5 p.m. is early for people to kind of clock in. So if I can help them out by streaming a little later at night on my end, so they're more available to watch, that sounds great. Yeah, but anybody that watches, like, you know, I have a few people that never watch live, that just watch the YouTube, or they watch the VOD here on Twitch, try to catch up there. Um, I know that that is helpful for some people to have that option. This piece really does not want to go on right. This is being very annoying. I know how it's supposed to connect. It just isn't. That is quite annoying. There we go. Got it. All right. And then all right, and then this piece goes on like this. Do it so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm putting just basically armor on the back of the leg here. This should snap in. There it goes. It snapped in. Great, we did that. And now we'll do it. Basically, we're building again the whole armor on the other side, putting it all together, just like we did on the that side. Should all go on basically the same. Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything coming up? May is the month where I am not traveling. I am not leaving New York in May, uh, which I'm very excited about. Those that know my schedule for the rest of the year, the idea that I will not be traveling this month at all is fantastic. Because in June I helped put on a comedy festival here in New York, so that is my June basically, as my life in June, and then July I'm going to San Diego Comic Con. August I am going to volunteer at, I believe, you know, it certainly could change, but as of right now, I am booked to volunteer at FlameCon. So I'll be working that convention. That doesn't involve traveling, which is nice, but it does involve, you know, a commitment of time and energy, which I'm happy to do. And then September is PAX West. October is New York Comic Con. I'll be doing panels there and helping people out, and might even be doing some work there. I might work at a booth. I'm still finding out information about that, confirming that information. And then November is PAX Unplugged, and then December is going to see my folks for Christmas. So I have a lot of traveling coming up, and I'm very excited to have it now. Might be, Game Developers of Color Expo. That's also in July. I was unable to go to that last year. It was the same weekend as the comedy festival I helped produce. So I was unable to be able to attend last year. So I would like to go this year. So that's another thing. But luckily, with that being New York, it doesn't require much travel. I'm going to have to figure out how to step up. My hope is that by volunteering at FlameCon, I can figure out how to help. It's only one day this year to make sure it does not conflict with BlurredCon. Oh, yes, of course. That would be bad for everybody if it did, not just you. That would be a bad conflict. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of gaming presence at FlameCon. There was a little bit, and it would be nice to have a little bit more. So I might chat with some folks about that, see if we can do something for that convention. There's the people they reached out to last year should not be working on any kind of conventions this year, as things kind of blew up in their faces. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my travel convention this year. Lots of conventions. San Diego is the one that I'm most hyped for. I like New York conventions because I can go home to my bed, and that's pretty great. But I also do like traveling and seeing things. San Diego will be great because I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con. No, actually, no, Tanya. I was talking about GamerX had a kind of a setup at FlameCon, like a little gaming lounge, and so that I don't think will happen again, or should it maybe? But yeah, no, anyone involved in FanCon should not be allowed to work on conventions ever again. They should be done with that. Yeah. Garcia, hey Pat, looks like we're going to be going to New York in 2 weekends. I'm looking to see a few UCB shows, either venue. Wondering what shows you might recommend the most. Well, it depends on what you're looking for. Our Hell's Kitchen location, any of the improv groups are going to be fantastic. A show on a Friday night or Saturday earlier night, you got a team called GOAT. That's like GOAT, all capital letters, greatest of all time. They're a very frenetic, high energy, incredible, fast-paced team. That's really cool. But a team like The Curfew or Grandma's Ashes, they're very funny, but also maybe a little more laid back improv, a little more dedicated to the craft, not just going for the laugh. Sunday night, if you're still in town on Sunday night, the stand-up show at UCB East, 7:30, called If You Build It, is a fantastic stand-up show. It's an hour and a half. You're going to see a lot of stand-ups you've never heard of, but are all great, and then you'll see them pop up over the next couple of years and go, oh, I saw those at New York. So I always say, if you're going to see a stand-up show, If You Build It's great. But yeah, the stand-up shows at UCB East are good, or improv shows at UCB East are good, but I think Hell's Kitchen is a better venue for improv because it's a big old huge space, and so you get to really, I don't know, I just think improv works better there than it does at our East Village location. But yeah, I hope that helps you out, gives you a couple ideas of things you could check out. So I did see that GamerX split from Mid-Boss, and is now its own thing, which is smart and probably definitely should have happened anyway. Especially when it became a charity, it should have completely separated itself from a business, because that was a weird conflict, I think. I'm not a business person. I don't know. I just know that seemed weird. I didn't know it had a new executive director. I would certainly be... I don't know. I think, Catherine Cross said it way better than I could, right? It feels bad to have promoted that show in the past, knowing that what we know about Mid-Boss and their work practices and their working conditions. I feel bad having, done panels there and put my support behind it. Proud of the work I did there, but yeah, no, that's a great FYI. I think it's incredibly important what the work that GamerX was doing. I mean, especially 2 years ago, post-election, because it was right after the election, and it felt so important and so necessary to have a legitimate safe space where people played games and bought merchandise and hung out. I think that weekend was it was incredible to have. Um, I think the show is so important, but it feels very tainted now. Um, and yeah, and like I said, should have been like its own thing a long ways ago. All right, so we're just about done here. We're gonna do our pelvis. We're gonna work on our waist here, the waist armor. But we finished our leg armor. I'm gonna cough, so I'm gonna put the mute button up here. Give me a second. Apologize for that. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, the Hell's Kitchen is gonna. If you're near the Hell's Kitchen location, the improv stuff is gonna be great. You want to buy your tickets in advance. Walk-ups work for like if you're gonna go to a midnight show or an 11:30 p.m. show, no problem. But on a Saturday, the both our venues, if you're gonna see an improv show on a Saturday, you want to buy them in advance because they're gonna sell out. Um, and you can get it, and then you get a barcode on your phone, and then you just bring your phone, and they scan it, and 90% of the time it works perfectly, and it feels very futuristic and cool. Um, but yeah, so you're going to want to do that if you want to see a show at UCB. Is if it's an improv show, buy it in advance. If you're like a 9 o'clock or a 7:30 or a 10:30 show. Um, Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I feel about GamerX in particular. Um, one of the reasons why instead of trying to do a panel at FlameCon, I want to volunteer. I volunteered to work tickets is because I feel like I get to promote an organization without promoting myself, which I've always felt a little weird. If me advocating a thing gets more butts and seats, gets more people to go. I mean I've been promoting FlameCon as just an attendee for years. I feel good about that. In the same way that like I volunteered at IndieCade East, and it felt very good to kind of help out there. Uh, that's kind of I think where I'm looking at as someone that can use my platform to kind of promote things. Um, you know, in the same way that I'm going to make sure that I balance myself with sexual orientation and gender and race when it comes to the panels that I do at other conventions at bigger places. Uh, that's very always been very important to me. Um, because otherwise I'm just waving a flag and pointing arrows at me myself. Um, but yeah, I mean, Tanya, I don't know. I don't like. I think I'm gonna take a couple years off of feeling okay about Gamer X. Like, I think it'll be a while before I feel okay about that group, and almost like wait and see. Um, you advocate yourself. You'd 100% recommend. Yeah, I mean, like, look, one of the ways I get to keep doing a lot of stuff is because I've built a fan base, and then the hope is that y'all know that when I'm talking about something that I'm interested in or something that I think is cool, you know that it means something, and I stand behind it. Everything from an anime that I think is awesome and I want people to be able to watch because it makes me feel better, like like a laid back camp that I think like legitimately improved my mood week to week, uh, and was almost a variation of self care, to a convention that I think deserves your support and attention, to like charity live streams, like hey, beyond the fact that like I only stream twice a week, right? If you're looking for another stream, if you want to watch a game stream and be in a cool chat full of awesome people, Kate Stark is your streamer. Besides being legitimately great at video games, not a prerequisite by any means, obviously, but the fact that Kate is excellent at games, cares so much about about people that watch and about them having a great time and feeling inclusive. The chat is her chat is overprotective, I would say, almost to a fault. Like the my only time I would say anything negative about them is that they sometimes are too gung ho about protecting her and supporting her. They're sometimes a little much, but I mean, like, you should know that if I'm talking about Kate, it's because she does great work. And she's been doing some charity streams lately and raising a bunch of money for a children's hospital in Canada, and which is rad, and is just like an A+ quality person. Yeah, you should definitely check her out. She streams all the time. She streams too much because she's making a living at it. Um, and she goes for it. She does a lot. Um, but like, if I'm going to advocate, for anything, uh, my hope is that you all know that if I'm talking about something, it's because I legitimately think it's great and think you would like it. Um, and the caveats that come with it, right? I have a relationship with Oni, so you take what I say about Oni with a grain of salt, right? Because they're promoting me, bringing me out to conventions, taking care of hotel rooms for me so that I can go to cons and travel and promote their products. So you take a grain of salt. When I talk about anime, you're all aware that I think it's, I made it plain that I have a Verve.co membership for free because of a friend of mine that works there. So I'm not paying for that. Uh, can I recommend a smaller streamer that I think has a small amount of? Sure, the Hollow. I don't mind that. I certainly wouldn't want to make people. Um, I wouldn't want to make people like feel like they um, can come here and promote themselves. But if you think there's somebody cool that folks should check out, feel free to let me know. So Tanya, like I said, that's I might be overstating it too much. They are overprotective in that it's a supportive chat and they really like each other. Like, it's got a very active Discord for subscribers. I think they're overprotective in that, like, if someone comes in and is like a Twitch shitty person, right? They're just like, oh, you can play video games and you're a girl. You're not going to get like one person being like, yeah, come on, really? That's what you're saying? You're going to get like 30 people saying stuff to this one person who's already been banned, and it's fine. So occasionally they are a little like a lot. She does some stuff with her chat, like monthly streams. With fans that play games like Jackbox games or whatever, and a few people were like mad that I was playing a game twice, but Kate had asked me to do it because we're friends in real life, and I was like, okay, all right, chat, chill out. I'm not breaking the rules. I'm bending the rules. That's really it. I mean, they're mostly sweethearts who just really like Kate and want her to feel cool and safe and they take a little bit of ownership of her and her community, right? They're very active. It's a very active Discord. I check in now and again because I am not active on any Discords, really. I'm in them, but not super active. All right, so yeah, the Hollow, you mentioned somebody. What we got here? I'm going to open it, read it. Fast Karate is someone that you've posted. As someone that we might want to check out. Looks like they played Ni no Kuni. That seems cool. But yeah, I don't know anything about Fast Karate. Take it with a grain of salt, but the Hollow says they're real inclusive to minority groups and overall positive. And I fully support positivity in streaming. I think, obviously when we get negative here, it's because we are talking about real things, real life things that happen. When we talk about things when we get real, it's from a place of earnestness. It's not from a place of complaining or being angry or trying to be, shitty. that's not how we operate. We're a positive chat on a positive stream. So yeah, always excited to see that about people um, out there. So yeah, fast karate. Okay, I might take a look. Uh, I don't mind getting political now and again. I know that sometimes people come to streams for different things, right? And a lot of it is escapism. Um, and so I am fine with people looking to streams that are not political. I don't think you can 100% totally be apolitical and be a human being unless you live an incredibly privileged life, in which case you can choose to ignore politics because day to day they don't completely and totally affect you or the people that you love and care about. We finished a sheet. We'll toss that aside. So I don't think you can truly be apolitical in this world. But I also know that for plenty of folks, escapism is incredibly important. It is a necessary thing for them. And they look towards streamers or anime or video games as an escape mechanism. And I appreciate that and I understand that. I wouldn't want my streams to be necessarily defined as being politically active, politically motivated, but you can also be political on Twitch and it's okay. Yeah, totally. You also can be completely, you can wear it on your sleeve. It can be a part of you. And I think that's totally fine. And I think there are plenty of people doing good work out there. But yeah, I think my philosophy, I haven't really put so much thought into it. But I know that, people say, hey, if you're talking about politics, you're going to lose people. And I think that's a fair statement because there are folks that, even if they agree with you, aren't looking to get into it. They're not looking to talk about it and think about it. They just want to escape. And even if, like I said, even if they agree with what you're saying, they need that piece. And then there are also people who just don't want to hear it, and because politics really they don't think affects them, so they're not interested in having the conversation or talking about it. So they don't agree with you. You get that a lot, like, oh, I thought you were so great until I found out this and blah blah. We're not going to talk about this a lot because one of the things we necessarily don't really talk about. There's no age gate in this chat or anything like that. We don't do anything like that. But I've never in this chat spoken about pornography, and we're not gonna talk about pornography. People's bodies are their bodies, and they can do whatever they want. I'm very fucking left anarchist left when it comes to the sex trade and sex workers and all that. We could talk about that another time. I literally have like 5 minutes left until we stop the stream, so I'm not going to get into it. But I did see a conversation that some people were having online where one person was very hurt because his favorite porn actress was apparently socialist, and he was very upset about that. And I thought that was hilarious. How devastated this person was that his favorite porn person was apparently using their Instagram to talk about socialism. And it fucking made me laugh so much. It really, really made me laugh. Okay. Politics built on solutions or core values, and maybe I'm closed-minded. Yeah, I mean, the hollow. Look, when it comes down to it, there are issues on which there are not two sides. I think a lot of my friends who are libertarian are still voting Democratic because they're not assholes. They just are independent contractors and see their taxes and see the money slip away, and they're just like, they say that wrestlers are libertarians, but vote for social work and vote for good systems, but because they have to pay for their own insurance, they focus on money a lot. but even they would probably not be libertarians if they were in a different line of work. Um, you know, we're going to wrap up there. There's a lot more discussion to be had about that. Obviously, this is not necessarily the time or place because it is the end of the stream. I want to thank you for joining me. We're almost done. Literally, we have two things left to do. We have to build the backpack, and we have to build the sword. And once we build the backpack and the sword, we will be done. The sword has its own stand. I've been told this figure does not hold the sword. So on Saturday, we're going to finish up. We're going to build our sword. We are going to build our backpack, and then we're going to build a Lego set. I haven't said what the Lego set is. I'm going to say it on on my Twitter on Saturday. So we're almost done. Tanya, thank you. I know you're exhausted, but thank you for joining me in chat. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining the Patreon. For those of you, if this was your first stream, if you're watching later on YouTube, if you're watching this in the Twitch archive, this is the first time watching it live. I stream on Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. I do a bonus game stream once a month. I'll be announcing that soon when that'll be. It'll probably be in the afternoon, and we'll play some Jackbox games, and maybe I'll play some Hearthstone, or maybe I'll play, I don't know. I'll play something. Maybe I'll play some Pokemon Emerald. But yeah, we're so close to finish this, but I am getting tired, and my building does not work out. Yes, Tanya, thank you for joining me. Yeah, and if you miss my streams, if you're following me here on Twitch, you can set a reminder notifications. They'll send you an email out when I go live. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend. For those of you that are watching live, come check me out in 2 nights on Saturday when we finish this up, and then do some Lego, because it's time to build some Lego. I've been waiting to do it. I got a pretty cool kit. It's going to take a couple days to build that. But until next time, thanks so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye-bye.